Okay. I'm doing something newfangled with text. So, all right, here we go. Go live. Okay, excellent. I am successfully live in all the new places I'm going today. So, the topic for today is spiritual compatibility a sticking point in your relationship? Do you feel like your partner just doesn't understand your spiritual life? And is that interfering with your connection with your partner? Is it interfering with your intimacy, limiting how deep you feel that you can go in intimacy with your partner? So let's discuss the levels of spiritual compatibility and how you can unlock this issue. I'm Shauna White, relationship coach for spiritually awake couples, and I help couples create heartfelt intimacy that flows naturally without effort. So today we're talking about what really counts when it comes to spiritual compatibility. And I would love some of your participation. So let's start with, let me know if you're watching this live or it's a replay. So put in the comments, hashtag live or hashtag replay, please. And so here's our question. Do you feel like you try to share your spiritual life and your partner isn't really interested or doesn't really understand? If you can relate to that, put hashtag misunderstood in the comments. So here are my thoughts about this topic and my observations based on my own experience and what I've seen with couples that I've worked with that have a kind of sticking point around spiritual compatibility. There are, for the purposes of this discussion, two levels of spiritual compatibility. There is, are you compatible at the level of, sorry, I was just checking my dashboard. Are you compatible at the level of beliefs, rituals, practices? Do you feel like you can talk about the ideas and the concepts that you're using and like I said, the rituals and the practices that you're using to go deeper in your self-discovery under all things that you would put under the title of spiritual? That's one level of compatibility, and that can be very comfortable. But the thing about it is that what are spiritual beliefs, principles, rituals, and practices actually for? They're really just for getting us deeper into the spiritual experience. So for me, I organize these things on the level of what's mental and what's feelingful. At the level of mental, we have these beliefs, rituals, practices, principles, ideas. They're the tools that we're using to help us see through a lens and then find how to put things together so that we drop into a deeper experience of connection inside ourselves. And that's the feeling realm, the spiritual experience realm. Compatibility, spiritual compatibility, from my point of view, is more essential at the realm of feeling than at the realm of ideas. So I have experienced and I have seen that it is less important that I can talk about the rituals and beliefs, the same rituals and beliefs with somebody that I'm connecting with. It's more important that we share the ability to communicate and connect at the feeling level. And feeling is not just emotion, it's also intuition. So where I really learned this deeply was when I met my current partner. We've been together for over 4.5 years now. And we don't talk about spiritual things much. But even though it's a long distance relationship, I can feel him energetically and he can feel me energetically. So that deep feeling connection, and it's not like, you can have a feeling connection that's like a trauma bond or an emotional compatibility and a magnetism, because your subconscious wounds are talking to each other, and that's like really intense. That's a different kind of feeling connected, feeling full sort of connection. With what I'm talking about, it's actually that you both have an open intuition, and so feel you can drop into a balanced place inside yourself and remove all the barriers of all the ideas and actually just feel each other. It's a naked honesty. It's where you get to when you go deeper in your spiritual experience with yourself. But having someone that you're with who can also drop into that feelingful experience, even if they don't use specific beliefs or rituals to get there, but they understand that language of energy. That's the essential spiritual compatibility that allows uh, moving into intimacy in that spiritually empowered way. And the communication skills that we really need to be able to explore whether we have that with somebody, and to be able to develop that with somebody, is finding how to drop out of our head and go deeper into how to speak from our raw, vulnerable honesty, and speak from feeling that is like feeling the energy of our being rather than feeling our emotional reactions to ideas, or um, feeling like we need to be able to talk about our ideas because that would be satisfying and validating. So that's a really subtle art, and that's something that I help people with when I work with them. Maybe you have your own experience with, I would love to hear what your experience is of putting the ideas down and speaking from that really naked, vulnerable place of sharing the light of who you are, or even the dark of who you are, wherever you are, whatever you're experiencing. But honesty, there's two kinds of honesty. One type of honesty is where you're actually speaking what your ideas are and you feel like you're being honest, but your energy is going. I'm sorry, my phone is distracting me. Your energy is going like this because you have an idea that you're putting out. You may not know that that's what's going on, but that's what the energy feels like. But vulnerable honesty, raw, vulnerable honesty, where you're actually sharing from your soul, the kind of honesty that develops this feelingful intimacy that I'm talking about, this spiritual experience intimacy, that is like, it's the opposite. Instead of the energy going like this, the energy kind of like just opens in this soft way where you're actually, instead of constructing your reality from this place of like pushing from your head, you're actually just relaxing your energy and becoming more vulnerable. You're stripping away the ways in which you're guarded that you may not even know that you're guarded, but because it's like part of your identity and you're so comfortable with it. But when you find that edge and you find how to speak from that raw, vulnerable place, it feels scary because it feels like, oh my God, my partner could reject the very core of my being if I say this, if I share from this depth. And this is well below the level of beliefs and rituals and principles. And this is where it really counts when you're talking about spiritual compatibility. Can you allow yourself to break down, to become raw and vulnerable, and let go of everything that you think you are, in the presence of your partner and share that with them? And do they understand it? And do they join you in that vulnerability? That is the most powerful and beautiful compatibility spiritually that we can hope for in our relationships. So let me know how this lands with you. I'd really love to hear. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay. I'm still live. Whoops.